Hello, good evening, everybody. Tuesday, the 17th of November. How are you? This is Eerie Porridge. Eerie Porridge. It's not porridge. we're, we're making a forest. An eerie forest in acrylics. Oh, gosh. It's been a long day, do forgive me. I haven't listed any of the colours because I've only just decided which would be the right and correct colours to use. As you can see, I've sketched roughly where things are. I was tempted to paint it all in black, but the camera doesn't really like it, so we'll build it up slowly. I think is the best option. Hope you're doing all right anyway, and thank you for joining me today. I'll give you 10 minutes to sketch it. Ready to paint the porridge. I really don't know what's going on in my brain. Evening, Christine. Hope you're doing all right. Oh dear. Oh, we had a lovely acrylic class this afternoon. I'm changing the old. I'm alternating it next year. So the Tuesday afternoon acrylics is when we do the evening Tuesday drawing class, and when there isn't an acrylic class on a Tuesday afternoon, it will be when we've got acrylics in a Tuesday night. So that means that potentially someone can do an acrylic class either on a Tuesday afternoon one week and a Tuesday evening the other week. So there's an acrylic class every week that way. I don't know why I didn't think of it before, but there you go. So yeah, this afternoon's class was a howling moot. No, it's gonna it's gonna be one of those evenings. A howling wolf at the moon. I think I need to retire. Oh gosh. Anyway, that's got me. I can't speak. Oh dear. Right. This is evening bar. Evening bar. Evening, Amanda. Oh, please, somebody rescue me. This is going horribly wrong. Anyway, this is what we did this afternoon. It is. It's a wolf howling at the moon. No, I haven't. No, I really haven't. Oh. Oh, I'm gone. Oh, dear me. Right, stop it, Barry. Let's get my ears in and Discord on. It must be the moon. It must. Oh, I can't see. Hang on a minute. Oh, God. I am professional, honest. I really am. Right, I'm going to get better. Hang on a minute. It's not very often I have one of these moments. Right. I can't go on Discord because I know Nick, you'll just play on this and you'll try and get me to stay like it all evening. Right. Let's put Discord on. I am a professional. I can do this. I can do this. Right. Good evening, Sandra and Nick. How are you? Oh God. Ready to retire. I am. Oh, for crying out loud! I can't speak. Porridge with a howling moon, and I'm talking to myself. I mean, poor Amanda says good evening, Barry. So I say good evening, Barry, back. It's not a password. Honestly, it's not a password. Oh, crying out. I haven't been like this since Rosemary's phallic clock tower. Oh. So I really hope I can last this evening. But it was a lovely painting. Amanda, you did a lovely version of that moon and wolf. And we even, I don't know if you saw it. We did I added the breath. Oh, I've just put it away. I added the breath of the moon of. No, I added the wolf's breath. Oh God, I can't. And I'm live. I am sorry, people. I'm so sorry. Oh, I once did this. I was having to give a reading at a church service. I was representing somebody, and it was a really bad bit about the crucifixion, and I started laughing like this. It really was bad. Oh, sometimes it's nerves, but this time it's just because I'm an idiot. Oh, crikey. Oh, blimey. I'm so sorry. Four of you. I think I know all four of you really well, so that's fine. If you're watching on catch up, I'm sorry. You know that scene in Mary Poppins where they're on the ceiling? Sometimes that's me with like Uncle Albert. I just can't help it. Anyway, I hope you've done the drawing. We've killed 8 minutes of the lesson anyway. I was trying to say I did the wolf's breath to make it look like he was howling. Oh dear. Anyway, the colours that we're going to use, I've still got my dirty palette from this afternoon because I don't want to waste it. I want definitely cerulean blue, don't you think? Cool blue, cerulean blue, so a greeny blue. I I think we will need burnt sienna. We definitely need black and white because they're like the two main ones. And I think we might need a hint of cadmium yellow because it's not. It's sort of yeah, warm yellow, orangey yellow. Yeah, it's more green than you think, isn't it? Yeah, lemon yellow's green. Yeah, so cadmium yellow is orange. Black, black and white. No, no reds today. Burnt. Have you got burnt sienna? No. Oh, get burnt umber instead then. If you burnt sienna's a funny colour. You just want a brown. Any brown will do. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, we've got some in. We've been adding a few more things on Shop Happy. A lot of different calligraphy and writing sets and things that we've had in. Sorry, Christine. I'm sure I'm. I'm all right now. I have my moments. No, I think they should be alright, unless there's a film on top, but I don't think there should be. Yeah, you should be alright. Right, let me... So ignore the colours on this palette, because they're not the ones that we're going to be using, apart from the black and the white. Gosh, it feels like I've just run a marathon. You're too kind for suffering me, really. And paying me as well. God. That's true. That's true. I think I told you on last night's class the Christmas advert that we filmed that with that Jackie it makes me laugh. Oh. Yes. Okay. Well, you know what? I think we do need a bit of laughter right now. I might I might go back after this is finished and record a snapshot of that just to replay on Facebook to show how professional I really am in these classes. Oh dear. Fortunately, Rosemary's incident that set me off was before we had these groups. That it is on a recording, but it's on a group that was just for a few students while I was testing it all out. It's kind of like the beta version, and that's on there. I will explain. Rosemary, and she doesn't mind me talking about it because she found it hilarious. We were doing Big Ben clock tower, weren't we, in watercolours, and hers looked very interesting, shall we say. But it wasn't just that. She came up with something funny, and then several other students said something funny about it, and then I said something funny, and then I just was uncontrollable for at least 15 minutes. I had to actually leave the room to laugh. It was hilarious. And I have to say, Rosemary turned it around and she did an amazing painting of it after that. But yeah, funny. If she was here tonight, she'd be in hysterics. Right. So have we drawn? Although there's not much to draw on, really. Yeah, it is basically squiggles, and it's just getting that path in the right place that I think is important. And I don't think I've got enough white, but I'm going to leave it because I put too much out this afternoon. So we want that eerie sort of glow emanating from the back of the forest. So I'm going to get, I think, I don't know if that's too small. Oh, is that one too big? No, got me wires. Right, so I've got me 3/4 inch flat brush, and I'm going to scoop up a dollop of white and put this on. So it's not runny by any means, but and this is where I end up painting over everything that I've already just drawn that I can't see. And I'm going to go with a hint of cerulean and a tiny weeny pinhead of cad yellow. Yeah. I think I need to go whiter and greener. Oh, I don't know if that's too green. No, we'll go with that. I can just about make out my path. Because you want it to gradually get dark. Although this light does kind of get just fractional darker, but not much. And we don't want it to be like daylight. That's the issue that we want to create. We want it to feel, well, you want it sort of green, I think would be a better. Oh, it's gone greeny green. Oh, okay. Right, so I've gone with a little bit more blue and yellow on the outside. There's still a little bit of white in this. You're having a good old acrylic session day then, aren't you, Amanda? Today. Well, I've just added a bit more blue and a bit more yellow to it. But on the outside, if I can, while it's damp, I want to do a bit of blue and a bit of brown. And that'll give a sort of... Oh, and a bit of yellow. I'll just shove some of that in as well. It'll just make it go a little bit darker. Oh, do you know what? I've mixed all of these colours, and I really should have left some of it for the to put on the path. That's all right. Yeah, really, I'm sort of leaving the bottom clear for now, because that's going to be where the dark bits are. But this is dried already. But actually, it might look like foliage the way I've got this in, so we'll leave it like that. In fact, if I stipple it, I'll make it definitely look like foliage. I just want it to feel like the wood's narrowing in a little bit, you know. But I'm going to have to quickly nick a little brush and mix a small amount of that light greeny blue colour. It's blue and brown. Blue with a little bit of brown. Jars are always a bit tricky. Now this is definitely going to end up looking like a river if I'm not careful. There you go. Okay. I think I need it brighter in that middle. I don't know. What do you think? Do I want more white? A bit of yellow in that. Yes. And then wash that up and out. Yeah, you can imagine I couldn't really go into acting because nothing would ever get filmed. You have? Oh, that's good. Ah. Yeah, I've done it left and a little bit on the right, but there's more trees. Do you know what I mean? There's more dense trees in that background that we're gonna use. So, but I have done the bit on the path as well, and I don't want it to look like a river because we discussed that last week, didn't we? How it could, but I mean it's blue at the moment, and then we'll bluey green. and then we'll gradually start darkening things. Yeah, once we shove a bit of tarmac over the top of it, well, it's probably a dirt track, isn't it? But it's all dark, so it'll all be fine. And I really enjoyed this afternoon's class. I didn't think we'd finish in time because we'd still got the wolf to finish at 3:30. Or to start, we hadn't even started the wolf at 3:30, but it all came together. So I need that to totally dry. I might get the hairdryer on it in a bit. I want it to totally dry so I can paint the background trees on. Because what will happen is if we try to do the background trees while the paint on the background is nearly dry, it'll just lift it all off and we're left with white, and we don't want white. So I may get the hairdryer on in a minute. I don't know. No, I think as long as this sort of area, the middle bit, from the bottom up to the top is covered, you'll be alright, because we've got branches and stuff and foliage to put on for the rest of it. It's just so we can get that eerie glow. Oh, well, I've added a bit more white and yellow to it because I think it needed just punching up a little. I'm getting the hairdryer on it now because I'm impatient. The background bit will be fine. It's this area I need to make sure is dry. Yeah. Now, if I was feeling really... do you know what? I'm going to do it. You can't do this, but I can because I'm special. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to squeeze. Oh, that's a bit too much, I think. This is glow-in-the-dark paint. And I'm just going to cover the back area. I know, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. You won't be able to see until I turn the light off. But I don't think it would show up anyway. I'm using glow-in-the-dark paint. I'd forgotten I'd got some behind me for that background. So what that will hopefully do is when I... we sell them. It's glow-in-the-dark acrylic paint. It's about £5 for a little jar. We've got a few bottles left from Halloween. So when I paint the other trees in front of it, it should just make the background glow a little bit on the path. Let's see. I think you can mix it with other paint, but I think it's better off as a colour on its own. Did changing that lamp make a difference, Nick? by the way. Oh, really? How about now? I've got no light on at all now. So I've got no lamp on at all now. I've just got the ceiling light. I can't do anything else, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'd just be sitting in the dark. So, well, maybe I will. Then you'll see. No, then you won't see, actually. Because I'll be in the dark. Cold. Right. That's right. Right, so I'm going to use a thin riggery type brush, I think. So I want to go in with a bit of blue. Oh, do you know what? I think blue, a bit of brown, and a little bit of yellow, and some white should give us. We're after that sort of. We want it pale, and slightly duller, and hardly there at all. So we do want it quite pale. Let's add a bit more white and a bit more brown. I think a bit more yellow. So ignore the blue, the ultramarine blue. That's not for today. Now I just need to see. Oh, that's too dark. Way too dark. Yeah, we want a greeny blue. So you want more blue in it than green. More blue. Oh, I still think I need more white. More white and more yellow. Gosh, if I do any more, it'll just be white. Blimey. It's amazing when you think you've got a really light colour, and then when you put it over the top of an existing colour, it's not light at all. It's sort of it's almost like a greeny grey I've got here. Are you adding, what are we've got your cerulean blue, which is your main colour, yeah? Then a little bit of brown, and then some yellow, and then white. Oh. Maybe turquoise won't be such a bad thing. Yeah, that'll be fine. So I'm just painting some distant misty trees. We might do some glazes or something if we need to push this back. But again, we won't know how this will look until we've got the dark. Exactly. That's the issue with, I think, with a lot of painting, is that it's very easy to sort of at this stage go, oh, this isn't how I wanted it. This is really bad, and it's not at all what I thought I was going to be doing, and all of that. But it's really hard to judge at this point how it's going to look. No, I've got rid of most of my lines now. I just did it to waste some time. Okay, so we got 2 hours worth of lesson. Now I really was toying with the idea. This could work on a black surface, but oh, do you know what? If I use a dilute version of that, I might be able to do some sort of softer, mistier bushes behind, which I should have done first, but it took me such a long time to get the right colour. Yeah, the problem I have when I work on black, and I used, or I do enjoy working on a really dark surface, um, but in terms of the lesson, the camera doesn't pick it up at all well, so it's quite difficult for you to see, and I don't want to stress you all out. You see, well I do, but we might have some new people join, and I won't want to stress them out. No, your paint has to be like ink, I suppose, really inky to get it to flow. It's funny enough. I was chatting to some students this afternoon and saying exactly the same thing. How it's really hard in acrylics. I mean, it's tricky in watercolor, but in acrylics particularly, what's hard is to get the consistency right, and there's not really a way I can teach it, which is even more annoying from my view because I want to be able to help you, and it's the bit that people struggle with the most, and it's the bit that I can't do anything with. Well, I've been preparing this morning my presentation for Thursday night's art history, which is about minimalism. And I've discovered I absolutely find minimalism beautiful. I like minimalist art. And I didn't think I did, but I do. And that shocked me. It's very nothingy, but there's a beauty to it, and I can't describe it. Yeah, there are these beautiful, but what's interesting, and I don't want to spoil it in case any of you come into it. There are some huge wall murals, full wall murals of the most vibrant colours, but it's gorgeous, really gorgeous. Oh, hang on a minute, just got to unplug my ear for a second. Right. Right, so I'm going to use the same colour mix again, I know, but slightly darker, which shouldn't be an issue because I struggled to get this one lighter. Let's go with that brush. So it's the blue, the brown, the yellow, and the white. You see that what's going to be difficult is going. Oh, I need more brown in that one. On there. You what? Sorry. I'm doing it thickish. and then I'll use a thin brush as we get further in. But I've got green now, and I didn't want green. Now I've got blue. The next, yeah, this is the next layer. So this is yeah, it is. Hey, good spot in there, Nick. I have no idea. This is a duck. I've made a duck egg. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I've got the quantity right. I've just got the colours wrong. A bit of ivy growing up this, but I think I'll do that with a thinner brush, because this goes up and it branches out into lots of. Oh, it's a bit thicker than that, I think. No, I know. I haven't been to the Italian larder yet, but it looks absolutely amazing on the photographs. It's moved to the top of the high street, where the Catherine House Hospice shop, furniture shop was, right at the top by the cross. Yeah, it was a furniture shop, I think, that all they did was sold furniture. Yes, and then they I don't know which one they had first. They had the one by Iceland in Calthorpe Street, and they had the one in the High Street, the top end of the High Street. I think they had the High Street one first, then they moved to Calthorpe Street. I think that's the way around, and then they've moved again, didn't they? Somewhere else. No, it's going to look amazing. Amazing. I might have to do a white glaze over this just to tone it down. It's I found lately my colours are a lot punchier. Maybe I'm becoming a Fauvist artist and I didn't realise. I don't know. Yeah, I'm coming down with a case of Fauvism. It's just not right. It'll be an eerie forest in the fog. Sometimes, my lessons don't go right at all. The lesson, funny enough, the lesson I did on Monday morning didn't go at all as I planned. There is more blue. There's a bit more blue and brown in this, Chris. Yeah, and a lot of water to make it flow. But because this is sort of background, I don't want to spend too long on it. But equally, it's where the interest is, isn't it? This is where it is really making shapes and patterns and all of that kind of thing. No, I have to make the paint almost like water, but then try and get the paint opaque. And so I find that sometimes is the tricky bit, is getting the paint runny enough so it flows, but thick enough so you've got some colour on there. Yeah, I'm in a. I've got. Oh, sorry, I did not say. Yes, I've got the little number 1 riggery brush. No, I think I might stick just another tree in here. It's not in the picture, but I think it'll help get the illusion of a forest. I have to really tell myself a lot, you know, when I'm doing trees. I tend to stick the fork in the branches in exactly the same place for all the trees I'm doing, so I have to go, no, not this time, go a little bit lower or go a little bit whatever, try and make it work. Because there's another tree, isn't there, sort of there, so I've got to remember to put that in. Right. I think I need a few more finer branches. I mean, this is the thing about building it up like this, is that you don't always know how many you'll need. But I think with something like this, even if you end up doing it not as a stereotypical branch, just do lots of lines and crisscrosses so it looks like it could be branches in background trees. Anything where you can really add. Well, I stuck that in. It's not actually in the picture, but I remember last week we ended up with a bit of a gap in between the trees and it didn't look like a forest, you know? So I think I ended up having to stick something in then as well, so I figured I'd just beat myself at my own game and do it anyway. Is it not your day today, Sandra? Yeah, Posca pens or something like that, paint marker. Yeah, too pale. Yeah, you know, I think my branches. I think this tree is too dark, to be honest. But because the issue will be that I can't go any darker than black. You know, and if this layer right at the front is black, and I've got 3 layers to do, I might be able to do it, but I'm really, I don't know. Okay. Oh, I wonder what he's got in his shopping. Yeah, it's like when you got a delivery and you've been waiting and waiting for hours and hours, and you really need the loo, and then you nip to the loo, and that's when the doorbell rings. Uh, so if you remember what we were doing when we did the drawing last week, is that we sort of jump from one side to the next. So there's that sort of. I'm going to use this brush to mix, but these are like the thin twiggy branches. So more blue and brown, I think, for this. And again, I don't want to go too dark. But that actually, yes, okay, yes, that's the colour I want. So I've on that blobby of colour that I've got there, I've mixed, I've mixed more blue and more brown, because I'm not ready to go into the dark colours just yet. So this is for, there's sort of two layers going on here. There's this bit that's going to go back to there, and then there's another layer. It might be the browns, because your brown's a little bit darker than mine. Oh. Yeah, but cerulean blue is a different colour in so many brands. It sometimes there's a colour called cyan that it's a very similar colour to. And some brands of cerulean are almost like phthalo blue. Yeah, cyan is what they use in printing. Yeah, it's sort of quite a bright blue. Yes, yeah, process colours often they're called. And there is a whole movement of colour mixing dedicated to the process colours of CMYK and all of that kind of thing. And you know, in theory, it could be possible to paint every colour from cyan, magenta, and hello. I've just mixed a bit more blue and a bit more brown for the next layer forward. Well, this is sort of a green grey. If I quickly switch cameras, because that tends to get a better coloration. There you go. Why not try to stick a bit of ultramarine in? You don't. I mean, I don't need it, but you may do if you're not getting the right colour. Add a little bit of ultramarine and see if that makes a difference. because it sounds like there's just a hint too much green. It may not work, so don't be too excited. Okay. Oh, we can't have despondency. Really ramp up the ultramarine. Sounds like the thing that you're after. Go for it. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's the white of the paper, isn't it? That's used in the printing world. Oh, so in that sense, it's like watercolor, I guess. So yeah, I could, with a bit of practice, mix every single colour within reason with cyan, magenta, yellow, black, and white. But what the difficulty would be is trying to get the same colour again every single time, because obviously with a machine, it can do it all automatically. It knows exactly how much of one, how much of the other. But if I wanted to mix a crimson every time, I'd really have to work on how much red, how much black, how much blue to add. Or if I wanted a certain shade of green, because you're only mixing with three primaries, black and white, it's a lot harder, and it's not something that I wouldn't be able to teach a class in it. I could teach a class in the theory of it, but if we were all using CMYK colours, no way could I actually teach a proper class, because how would I get measurements to you? You know? Even if we were in a real life setting, I don't think I could get across how much to add for various tones. I want sort of a more solid bush here. Cover that white up. I need the forest to feel like it's closing in. I want it to feel magic, but I also want it to feel a little bit creepy. What did you have in your shopping, Nick? Anything exciting? Boring. What this second? Oh, that, yeah, like that really thin, the really thin bit. Do you know it is, what is it, over the centre line? Stick with it, because bring another darker tree over it. Maybe that might help. Because there are loads of branches. You see, there is another tree. There's another tree on the right hand side that's the same sort of colour as this, and it's in between, because I can see it in one photo, but I can't see it in another, and it's got a branch coming over, so this one might help. This one's where all of the other branches are. If you can weigh out the branches, so it's sort of that one that you've just put in that's a bit too central, you might find that this one will offset it again, because it's going to be slightly more to the left hand side. It might do, I don't know. This is one for a gnome or a deer, I think. I haven't done any gnomes for ages. No, gnomeless. Because I was doing the Christmas one with the gnome. He's either a gnome or an elf, I haven't decided. It has to be elf, but I have found some digital dancing elves that I've put in another advert that I'm launching on Friday or Saturday. Maybe. And don't forget, we were saying, weren't we, last week, that if you want a tree to look a bit more spooky, make the branches a little bit more angled. What the hell was that? I went the wrong way around and ended up with a thicker branch on the outside and a thin one inside. Yeah, make your angles more sharp and severe rather than curvy and fluid. We want spooky. Yeah, spooky. You know, it'll be fine. Sometimes though, when it's going badly to start with, sometimes there's just a light bulb moment, not necessarily with you, but it just changes totally. It is 8 o'clock, so technically it's time for tea. If you want to make some, I've still got some in my pot. That's fine, I will stop now for 5 minutes or more. Oh, my brush split while I was doing that one there. Didn't notice that. And it's okay to let your branches go and cross over the other side on these trees here. Don't think they've all got to be perfectly on their own side. So these aren't the main trees. So on this side there's going to be 2 black trees going up, and on this side you've got that one that's got that lumpy bit that's almost black, and then the foreground is going to be black, and then we've just got the path to do. So we should be able to get this done well within time, but okay, that's fine. Oh, because you're underneath still a bit damp. Right, let's see if that teapot is still hot. Birdsong on as well. Let's get them back up. Right, I'm going to do nothing for a bit because this is wet and it'll give you all a chance to sort of catch up. Oh, I know what I want to add to this. Maybe. We'll see how it looks. And I've really got to remember that this is not a river. No, no, you're true. Nobody would know the difference. That's very correct. So we'll see what it. Yeah. And then I'll post it on an Instagram or something and go, oh, look at this lovely this eerie forest with a river. And Nick will go, it looks like a path to me, I bet, or something. I know your game. I know your game. But I was just thinking, I wouldn't mind where my finger is on that branch there having a barn owl facing out, you know. I'm in an animal day today. What? Which ones? Yeah. It's do it almost like lots of little, almost like crisscrosses, rather than think of it as a branch, because there's that many of them. It doesn't really matter. Show me on something. Oh no, that's fine. That'd be all right, Nick. So you know where the furthest left hand side branch is of that one in the middle? Just don't go out any further than that. You know that the one that you've started that you haven't, you know, that the little really squiggly one. There's one branch that goes out a bit further to the left that crosses over the brown background trees. Just don't go out any further than that and you'll be fine. So bring them more up. So that's sort of like an extra stump or something, an extra tree branch growing. So I think you'll be fine actually. So have more of the branches on the left hand side. But what you could do is mix a bit of your background colour and paint the heavier line out, you know, and then leave some of the brown, leave some of that because it'll just look like extra branches when you put it on. But yeah, if you could paint out that section and then put the darker ones back in again. But I don't think it's as far over as you think it is. It's not in the middle. It's not in the centre line. But I can see what you mean. If you add a lot of branches, then it will cover over your background bit, won't it? But I think your branches on that ivy-covered tree are really lovely. They're a nice thickness or thinness, really. I know, I found my paint's drying really quickly today. Even on the palette it's drying. Because what do you know what I'm going to do while you're catching up, because I don't like to say catching up because it makes me feel like you're going to have to rush and I don't want anybody to rush. But I might paint a barn owl in the branch, because the rest of it is not, the rest of this picture is not challenging apart from when we get to the path. So take a bit more time than you need to get your branches right. And I'm just going to Google. No, I'm not. I'm going to free resource, because then it doesn't sound like I'm a plagiarist. Which one's that one? Oh, that's my fill-in tree. That's fill. Fill in. Right, now if I go with a bit of white. So you don't have to do this, by the way. This is me just trying something out and seeing if I can do it. I still can't believe how long Owl's legs are. Okay. This probably won't work, but I've got to try. Because it's extremely small. And I don't want it to look like a little man. It's so small. Why do I do this to myself? Why did none of you stop me? You think? Well, look, yeah, I mean, look how small it is compared to my hand. But I just felt I might add a bit of white to it as it dried. It was a lot smaller than I thought, to be honest. And I don't know why, because I'm the one that painted it, so I should be able to do it the size I want. But I think I need to work with a pen on this. Right, I'll stop that now. Right, so there's 2 more layers in the path to do, and we've got 45 minutes, so that's good. Now, I'm going to mix up more cerulean and burnt sienna, but now I'm going to add a little bit of black. I know, that's exciting, isn't it? You already had to use a bit of black. Okay. Because just the very foreground is what I want to be actual black. So I'm hopeful that this will work. Will I have mixed up enough? I don't think I have. In what, with the addition of the black? Oh, I'll have a look. I'm better off if I look on this one. Oh yeah, but that's nice. I think yours looks eerier than mine. Yeah. No, I don't think so. I could imagine that would be a good opening credit for Scooby-Doo. Now there is another tree there, so let me put that in. I'm going to put the big branches in. So this is slightly darker than the others. And oh yeah, there's a really big one on this side. before it gets sort of black. I'm sort of stippling with my brush now to try and get a little bit of texture. I need to mix up more blue, brown, black. Still got an awful lot of blue left. I think I was very hopeful that I was going to paint something the size of a wall. And then there's that stumpy one, isn't there? That tree that comes there. And then it's got that lump. And there's ivy off this one, so I don't know whether I'm gonna use a fan brush or use my thin brush on. I might use a thin brush because I used the thin brush on all the other bits. So let's switch brushes. So what I'm doing now is any branches in the background that didn't work, I'm going over them, I'm hiding them with these. I have, yeah. I could make another one out on the very, very far left in the photograph, so I thought I'd do it. Add a bit more black. Go a bit thicker, use your knife. Oh, don't use your fingers. Yeah. See, I'm having difficulty getting the fluidity of the paint right now. I need it to flow and it's not flowing. I'm glad I didn't try to lighten that background tree anymore. You know, the really first layer that we put on, and I thought it was too dark. Look how pale it looks compared to the rest now. I always find it amazing, and I think no matter how long I paint, I will still find it exciting the way that the contrasts work. Well, that's the point. I was just leaning on. I need to lean on the path to do this ivy, I think. I should be using a fan brush. I think it would give you a much better effect, but because I did the ivy with this brush for that paler tree, I'm going to have to do the same for this one, because otherwise it'll just look really weird if I've got big chunky ivy on the tree in one section and then really fine flimsy ivy in the foreground. It should have been the other way around, but that's all right. Righty. Yeah, I'm going to have to do something to make this feel more path-like, because in my head I'm going down to a riverbank, but I do want it to be a path. I really do. If you're painting on watercolor paper, it tends to suck all of the moisture out of the paper, out of the paint, really quickly. So it dries faster than you can do it with. Oh, are you on watercolor paper? That could explain it. Sometimes you have to. You can sort of put a white acrylic or gesso wash over the surface just to seal it a little bit. Doesn't always help, but sometimes it can. Right, what I'm going to do, because it's only past, not even, I'm concerned about this path. So let me give this brush a good clean, because I think I need to make it a bit more browny. And I want to make it, we put leaves and things on the drawing that we did last week, didn't we, in that sort of, no, I can't remember what I did. It's going to look nothing like this when I, let me get my sketchbook out and have a laugh. I mean, have a look. Oh, actually. Okay, I can do this. I can make it look more like a path. Right, so what I know what I need to do now. I know. The path is going to be a bit bluey browny, and then the foreground is going to be just black. Because I want to just see. I was trying to get a bit of dry brush work going on here, but well, that works. Look, if I put hardly any paint on my brush and wiggle it, so this, yeah, I've added a bit more brown to it. Shove a bit of blue in it, a bit of ultramarine. If it's yeah, the same colour of the trees is fine. Yeah. It should be okay though. I might stick just some sort of browny leafy things just on the just to get a little bit of texture, because it's just all going to be very monochromatic. So I think if I can add some of these sort of blobs, so it feels like the leaves are falling, because it is autumn, isn't it? These the brown isn't standing out as much in real life, by the way. It's for some reason the camera's decided that this brown is the best colour in the world, and it's really making it show off. What, the brownie stuff? Yeah, you don't want the brownie stuff to um, jump out too much. You want it to sort of be settled in, and then what we will do is there's just this foreground area, and then there's a hint of a tree that's coming off the edge with some big black branches coming across, and yeah, and it's kind of done. I mean, don't forget your drink, by the way. It was over half an hour ago. And I might balance it out and put a sort of some black twigs or something on the right hand side lower edge, so it all balances. I like to do a bit of a balance. What, to soften them? Yeah. Yeah, as long as it's all dry, you should be alright to do a pale wash. I'd probably do it a sort of white and yellow wash, yeah, just to soften it all. Yeah, if you want to soften your background, that's a good thing that you can do. It's still a bit. I'm just going to get the hairdryer on this because it's I've got some really wet bits still. Now, do I just use pure black or do I add a bit of blue to it? Right. I'm just determining whether I want to add any blue to my black for this foreground. Maybe a bit of blue, just to keep it all work. That works. Yes, I'll do that. Yeah. Yeah, shove it on. Do a bit thickened impasto, I think. We'll do a little bit down on the foreground on the right hand side as well. And then let's mix a bit more blue in there. So there's a tree that's right on the edge. My staples are in the way. And it comes right to there. I think I need to just make it a little bit bolder, because I have to think about if I ever put this in a frame or if somebody buys it, that tree will have totally missed off the edge. So then we've got this nice dark branch. There, let me switch to my thinner brush. It really is a good way of creating layers in a picture, just even using the same colour and just gradually getting darker and darker. So use one colour and black and white, which is almost what we've done, but I mean we have used so it's like yellows and browns in this to change it, but we could have done this totally in just cerulean blue, black and white, and it would give us a really interesting scene, I think. But also, especially when you're on white bits or black bits, don't be frightened to use pen. I mean, technically it's mixed media, yes, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, well, yeah. Maybe just a little bit of darker texture on the very foreground bit of path to try and bring it Yeah. I know it is. I really do struggle sometimes. I get stuck in a rhythm when I paint. I think I need to work on my path just a fraction more. There's too much light showing. Oh well, I'd rather have a darker path with just a hint of this colour than what I seem to have managed to create. Oh dear. I think that's a bit better. Rough it up a bit. You see, part of me would like to break out of the darkness of the foreground and just do a hint of that pale greeny blue just on a couple of blades of grass. Do you know what I mean? So maybe I will. But you can see how the foreground darken at the front has hopefully helped. Oh, I'd love to put mushrooms. Some. Oh yeah, well I've just put some brown leaves. Let me see if I can. Let's see if this will work. If I can sort of break up the dark, and this is something to be done very sparingly. But because our light source is that gap, isn't it? That's where the light's coming from. In theory, this could make or break it. Oh dear. Oh hello, you're back. You've put the tree up the side. It makes a big difference. Are you showing me live or what are you doing? Oh no, you're just downloading it. Oh, you know, I really like that, Nick. What do you know what I do is I'd have the dark tree at an angle on the left, but I'd bring a branch down lower so it cuts through part of the tree. Do you know what I mean? I think that would really. I like that. You've got some good depth in that, and I like the glow on your path. That's nice. Yeah, I like it. None of you are ever happy with your work, are you, really? When you're doing it. Maybe I'll put a little bit of light just hitting. I'm fiddling now. Just a hint of ivy or something. Where the light's hitting it. Just takes the edge off that darkness. Have a little gnome skipping along. Well, I don't know, because I like your big tree, but I don't know whether you could do with it. I mean, I'm gesturing on my picture, but I don't know if you'll see it. I don't know whether a branch going up that way on yours would work to cut through that big tree. I actually quite like that tree anyway that you've drawn with the ivy on. Paint it as it is in the photograph and then just see. See if I can. Because I don't know if it's just quite twee that none of the branches are really covering each other up. Do you know what I mean? All of the trees in the picture particularly, but I suppose that's why the photographer stood there. I feel I need something, even if it's just I don't know, just coming out to cover that cross in front of that tree. I really do. Let's try something. I'll never forget, and I've probably said this before, I was given a talk in the West Midlands to a WI group or a Townswomen's Guild or something like that, and I'd done a landscape, and you know how older people, some of them can't whisper, and I'd done this bit and I walked around, and then I said, right, I'm going to add, I don't know, some more grass on that. And then as I added it, I heard someone right at the back go, "Look, he's spoilt it now." Right, really loud, but didn't realise because she thought it was whispering. And she thought I'd spoiled it with something on, but I didn't think I spoiled it. I kind of liked it. I've just made this a little bit spookier by adding this. Does it look better? Add some depth, does it? Yeah, I feel happier with that crossing over like that now. Right, let's have a look. I'm on the edge of glory. Oh yeah. Oh, hang on, I haven't seen it yet. It's just coming on now. Oh yes, I like it. It's made it feel like a real tunnel now, hasn't it? Yeah, I like that. I was too scared to go that big. Told you to do it, but I didn't do it myself. Too much of a chicken. I kind of like that here. I don't know if I'm just going to say, I can't remember what we're doing next week. So what's the next two? It's got to be something wintry perhaps, or snowy. It's drawing next Tuesday evening, don't forget. And it is, a winter cabin and fir trees. So you'll probably need a ruler and some sort of embossing, like a ruler or an embossing tool, for that, so that'd be quite nice to get the snow and what have you. I don't think I can add any more to this. I am going to do a bit more to my owl when it's all dry, so I can lean on it and do a bit, because at the moment it looks like a page boy stuck in a tree with or Eddie Munster with his widow's peak. I mean, I might fiddle with it now, but I'm going to have a wait for it to dry. Oh, I like that, Sandra. That's a lovely eerie glow you've got right at the back. I said, Nick, it's like a Scooby-Doo scene where they're creeping up the back. Rope, rope, Raggy, rope. No, I know what you mean. Yeah, see how it is, and live with it for a bit and see how you get on. It's been nice to have you with us for 2 days. Why? Oh, does she want you back so you can cuddle on the settee and watch Netflix? or have you got washing up that needs to be done? Because your lips are moving. Yeah. It's been lovely to have you with us for two sessions in a row, Nick. That's nice. It is. I think it's good to have a brain break, though, isn't it? Exactly. Right, I think I'm... Well, that's very true, yes. Right, I think that's it from me. So, loads of classes coming up this week. A nice still life tomorrow of books in pencil. A barn owl in coloured pencil on Thursday morning. Clasped hands in watercolour Thursday afternoon. Minimalism art history talk Thursday evening. The final 3-week session of Friday morning of myths and legends in art history. Friday afternoon is the Riverview at Lancashire in watercolour. Nothing over the weekend, and I can't remember, it's an acrylic demonstration on Monday morning, and then the clasped hands Monday evening, and then Tuesday evening is this cabin and snow in pencil. So that's something to look forward to. Thank you so much for your company today. It's always lovely to spend an evening having a bit of a paint and a laugh. Any sort of colouring pencils, even watercolour pencils will do on Thursday morning, Amanda. If you haven't got any, we'll sort you out. Thank you, Nick. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye. Right, so thank you, everybody. Take care. Have a good week ahead, and do enjoy the rest of your week. And I might record my giggling fits and post it as a shop post. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, if you haven't got any coloured pencils, Amanda, we can try and sort some out and drop something off before Thursday. But if you've got watercolour pencils, that will be fine, or any sort of colouring pencils with a range of about 12-15 colours, a couple of blues, a couple of reds, a couple of yellows, browns, that kind of thing. Thursday morning it's a barn owl in colouring pencils, which is nice. I know, but you can watch it on catch up if you wanted to. See if you like the look of the picture when I post it on the Saturday. Right, so thank you very much, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye.